In this video, we are going to be reviewing the setup of material multipliers. Material multipliers are how you will customize material pricing here in QuoteSoft. Let's first have a conversation about pricing services. The QuoteSoft piping program has a database over 100,000 items. Maintaining material pricing on over 100,000 items can be very tedious. Therefore, there are pricing services available to help you maintain industry list pricing on the QuoteExpress database items. Here in the US, you have the option to subscribe to CINX. For Canadian contractors, you have the option to subscribe to Trade Service. Please note that after subscribing to a pricing service, there are a series of steps required to download pricing from the service and into the QuoteSoft database. Those steps will not be covered in this training video. Please call to schedule a time to learn how to do this. Once you have established pricing through a service, it is now time to bring the industry list pricing down to your net costs via material multipliers. Here in Material Multipliers, you will find a much more manageable list of over 200 material multiplier groups. How material multiplier groups work, and, for example, there are over 600 NIPCO ball valves defined in the QuoteSoft database, of which all individual prices will be managed by your pricing service. In order to obtain your net pricing through QuoteSoft, you will be required to enter a material multiplier. Now that you understand the basics of material multipliers, you will be shown how to establish your material multipliers. You are not limited to one material multiplier per group. You can establish up to 4 material multipliers per group. Using the Titles button, we can customize those titles. Though you will be given different examples of how to utilize the column titles, the proper way to define these is to contact your local wholesaler and have a conversation with your sales rep regarding your company's pricing structure. Here is an example of setting up columns per size of buyout. Here is an example based on contract pricing, over-the-counter pricing, a budgeting, and change order scenario. This is an example of an aggressive and non-aggressive. And please note that you do not have to set up all 4 titles. Once you have established your column titles, please click OK to see your titles populated above each column. Next, you are not limited to 4 column titles. If you need more than 4 titles, we can utilize the family to do so. In the following exercises, you will be shown how to set up families of material multiplier groups. Please select Family to define multiple vendors. Because you may not call them family members, it might make more sense to replace this title with wholesalers, vendors, or suppliers. Then, make a list of all the suppliers you purchase materials from. Once your list is completed, select OK and save the changes. Titles will then need to be set uniquely between the suppliers. To do so, please select the second supplier from the list, select the Titles button, and set a unique scenario for that supplier. The best way to set up and manage material multipliers is via Excel. In this next exercise, you will be shown how to export to a spreadsheet and import values from a spreadsheet. First, you'll need to create separate exports for each supplier you previously defined. To do so, please select the Export button. Your export options are: you can export the current supplier being displayed, or you can select a supplier to export. Though not common, you can make one list of all suppliers. In this example, we will export the current supplier. You can then export all material multiplier groups, or you can select material multiplier groups. In this example, we will select all. You can then export the values for just column 1, all columns, or a select number of columns. In this example, we will do all columns. It is then suggested to save the file as the supplier name to a local folder where it can be managed later. Continue exporting lists for each supplier by selecting the next supplier in the list and repeating the steps to export. After all your Excel exports have been completed, email each export to the appropriate supplier and have the supplier fill it out with your material multipliers. Please note, once the completed Excel exports have been sent back to you from your suppliers, they will need to be saved as .xls file extensions in order for them to be imported back into QuoteSoft. You are now ready to import the Excel files. To do so, please select the Import button, select No, and navigate to where you previously saved the files from the vendor. Select the file and open. Once finished, select OK, and you will see the material multipliers populated in each column. You will need to do a separate import for each supplier. To do so, select your second supplier in the list and repeat the import steps. Lastly, once you have completed setting up all your material multipliers, please select the Close button, select Yes to save changes, and OK to update the server. Thank you for watching this video on material multipliers.